This fenced-off property in Seffner, Florida, is all that remains of a tragedy that will haunt the dreams of Floridians forever. A home had stood on this spot for over 3 decades. But that all changed on February 28, 2013. The house had been occupied by Jeremy Bush, his wife Rachel, and their daughter Hannah. Rachel's sister Janelle and Jeremy's brother Jeff were also living there. That night, Rachel and Jeremy had finished a late dinner, were washing up, and about to go to bed. Janelle had just gone into her bedroom for the night. And Jeremy's brother, Jeff, was already asleep in his room. It had been a long day for everyone.
When we were guests fixing to lay down, that's when it happened.
The time was 11:01 p.m.
It sounded like somebody came in and hit the house with a truck.
And then we heard my brother scream.
We ran down the hallway. I flicked on the light and opened up the door.
There was no floor, no ground, no nothing. Everything was gone.
Everything was gone.
And everything was still sinking. But Jeremy makes an instant decision.
I automatically just jumped into the hole and started screaming and yelling for my brother. And all I could see was the corner of my brother's bed. That was it. His TV, his dresser, and everything was gone. I started digging with my hands and stuff, trying to get to my brother, because I thought I could hear him yelling and screaming for me to help him.
The house just fell through. Bedroom floor just collapsed, and my brother-in-law is in there. He's underneath the house.
Rescue teams were too late to save Jeff Bush, but did manage to pull Jeremy from the ravenous hole. The next day, cautious authorities stretched a pole camera through Jeff Bush's bedroom window. The sinkhole was more than 20 feet deep and completely empty. No bed, no body, just dirt. Wary of more sinkholes, the house and 2 neighboring homes were demolished. Jeff Bush's body was never recovered. The slab and hole mark his grave. But ironically, his death may have prevented another.
2 months before my brother moved in, that was my daughter's bedroom, Hannah's bedroom.
Sinkhole fatalities like this one are rare. A remarkable fact, given the scores of sinkholes that occur each year.
Florida is very lucky that more people haven't been seriously injured from sinkholes, where they were sleeping in their home or apartment complex and they did not get out in time.
Although sinkholes threaten many regions of the world, Florida is particularly vulnerable.
Hello, everybody. I chose mass movements and, in particular, sinkholes as my topic because it's a very pertinent subject for Hillsborough County. As the previous video stated, sinkholes form all over the world. However, certain geologic features increase the chances of a sinkhole forming. During the Mesozoic, Cenozoic, and Oligocene eras, from about 251 to 23 million years ago, the landmass we now call Florida was covered by a warm, shallow ocean. Marine organisms sunk to the ocean floor after they had died and accumulated there in great thickness to form limestone. From 23 to 5.3 million years ago, approximately, during the Miocene, clays and sands were deposited by cooler, nutrient-laden water. Due to these geologic features, and especially in the west central part of the state, Florida has a higher occurrence of sinkholes than other places in the world. Much of Florida has a karst topography, which is a landscape that is formed from the dissolution of limestone through slightly acidic water. It is characterized by sinkholes, caves, and the underground drainage system we refer to as the Florida Aquifer. The geochemical interactions that create this karst landscape are controlled partly by the rate of water circulation. 3 of 4 sinkhole zones exist in Hillsborough County, with the majority being the type that produces abruptly forming cover collapse sinkholes, like the one that caused the demise of the Seffner man. A cover collapse sinkhole basically is when the layer of clay that overlies the karst falls in because there's no supporting structure, and so basically the weight becomes too great. Gravity works and a sinkhole forms. According to studies done by a number of researchers, human activities contribute to sinkhole formation. Sinkholes induced by human activities are generally divided into 2 categories: those resulting from groundwater pumping, whether for agricultural purposes or urban water needs, and those related to construction and development practices such as the dewatering of foundations and mining. Sinkhole insurance is one way residents try to protect themselves from the dollar damages caused by sinkholes. While it is beneficial in those situations, of course there are also those trying to take advantage of the system. A few cases concerning citizens insurance have homeowners claiming sinkhole damage and receiving a 6-figure check, but not making the necessary repairs. One couple whose claim was denied by citizens initially sued and received about $140,000, which they used to pay off their mortgage and other debts. They sold the unrepaired house, and 6 years and 2 owners later, it still remains unrepaired. In other cases, citizens made substandard repairs. 1 out of 5 of their policyholders who got payouts subsequently sued citizens, and out of those, 40%, that's 40%, never made any repairs. Citizens receives over 4,000 sinkhole claims per year, and they state that in 2010 they collected $32 million in premiums and paid out $245 million in sinkhole losses. The result of all those unrepaired homes, decimated property values that are draining millions of dollars of tax revenue from local governments. Several measures are seeking to improve the situation. One of them is Senate Bill 48, which requires homeowners to pay for up to $2,500 for sinkhole testing if they want to appeal a denial by the insurer without testing being performed. Basically, if the insurer denies their claim without performing any testing and they would like to appeal that. Another requirement of that bill is that insurers don't have to pay for below ground stabilization until the homeowner contracts to have the work done according to recommendations of the insurance engineering report. Benefits are restricted to structural damage and based on Florida construction and engineering codes. There's also a new ordinance which was pushed by Hillsborough County property appraiser Bob Henriquez, and which now requires inspectors to pull a permit for sinkhole inspections. Now there's a record of the sinkhole, so no more repairs done on the fly or not at all. This also provides important information to the public, to homeowners and future home buyers, such as, was the house ever tested, and is there a confirmed or no sinkhole? Living in Florida, especially in Sinkhole Alley, which includes Hillsborough County, sinkholes are a reality we live with, but with some responsible common sense approaches, the effects can be lessened. We must become better stewards of our groundwater/aquifer by reclaiming more water, not just to protect from sinkholes, but also to prevent saltwater intrusion. Additionally, we must make sure that high construction standards are used and codes followed. Had the house in Seffner been built with rebar embedded in the foundation as required by code, the life of the Seffner man would likely have been spared. And last but not least, accountability and reporting and repair of sinkholes would go a long way to protect citizens.